Hello everyone and welcome. Welcome to our Sciences Po Live broadcast dedicated to the Sciences Po School of Management and Impact. My name is Adrien Kennett and I serve as Marketing and Recruitment Manager at Sciences Po. I am truly delighted that so many of you are able to be with us today. So whichever part of the world you are connected from, thank you for being with us and welcome to you all. We are going to be together for about 30 minutes to give you the most up-to-date information on the Sciences Po School of Management and Impact. To do so, several guests are with me today. My first guest in the studio is Natasha Valla, Dean of the Sciences Po School of Management and Impact. Natasha, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
And we also have three guests who are with us, obviously not in the studio, but remotely. Three students and graduates of the Sciences Po School of Management and Impact, Sarah, Chitraksh, and Mehdi. Thank you guys for being with us today. We'll get back to you in just a few minutes. Now, to all you viewers, should you have any questions at this point, you can ask your questions in the chat module of this YouTube Live, and our first guest will be happy to answer some of your questions in the second part of this broadcast. Now let's get started, and my first question goes to Natasha Valla. Natasha, as a start, could you sum up in a few words what the Sciences Po School of Management and Impact is all about?
Of course, Sciences Po School of Management and Impact is a big school within the Sciences Po community. We have 1,200 students, more than 70 nationalities. The teaching staff comes from 80% from high professionals and 20% from strong permanent faculty members. We have about 400 people teaching here. We organize a lot of events during the year, 80 conferences, workshops, etc. So it's a lively place to be. What else can I say? We have half an hour to speak about it, but a very diverse community, but committed to bring students to jobs at the end of their stay with us. And this is really something we will discuss during this half an hour we have together.
So a very diverse community and also very diverse programs that you offer. What are the master's programs that you offer?
The programs that we offer, the masters, are very broad. We start with a master's in finance and strategy and go all the way through communications, cultural industries, marketing. We have masters in human resources and sustainable governance, international business and sustainability. Mind you, 4 of them are in English, full track, English track offers that we have. This is an effort we really made because we are really interested in feeding this international dimension to our studentship. So in English, you'll be able to do a master in finance and strategy, in international business and sustainability, a master which is very popular among students on new luxury and art de vivre. And also we have a master in communications, media and cultural industries. So many dimensions with many outlets and diverse métiers that you will be able to do when you're done with this.
So 7 master's programs, including 4 full English track master's programs offered at the Sciences Po School of Management and Impact. Now, Natasha, Sciences Po obviously is not the only university offering programs in management, finance, strategy, communications, marketing. What distinguishes the Sciences Po School of Management and Impact from other universities offering similar programs?
Well, the School of Management and Impact is located within Sciences Po, so we have this hybridation between the excellence in what you learn in terms of finance, quantitative stuff, but also creative stuff. So we have this dimension which is paired with the social sciences breadth that we have thanks to the permanent faculty of Sciences Po in terms of sociology, history, political sciences, sociology, a little bit of philosophy. We added that a bit this year. So this blend is really something that employers are seeking, because you don't find it that easily in other business schools, in the normal pool of business schools around.
Now, many of you viewers are probably prospective students and hopefully future students at the Sciences Po School of Management and Impact. Natasha, could you tell them what is a typical international school of management and impact applicant? What type of students are you looking for?
Oh, we value a lot diversity, diversity from geographical origins, but also more generally diversity. So we have students from within Sciences Po, as in every other school, but also students with a strong motivation. So to enter the school, there is no prerequisite. You won't be asked to have done Calculus 1 if you want to do, mathematical finance, or you won't be asked to have done, some specific classes if you want to do creative industries. But you need to have a clear idea and a strong personal project that you can explain us. We want personalities, people motivated. So that's you have to think about, have good grades, of course. That's something that you need to have when you come to Sciences Po. But then you have a peer effect, which helps you complement your background with what you will need to exert to have this professional activity that we are here to bring you to.
So one thing you want to keep in mind is that the Sciences Po School of Management and Impact welcomes students from every academic backgrounds and from all over the world. Thank you, Natasha. Now let's have a word with Mehdi. Mehdi, thank you again for being with us. You are currently enrolled in the Master in Communications, Media and Creative Industries. You previously did a Bachelor in Business and Film Studies. What made you choose the Masters in Communications, Media and Creative Industries at the Sciences Po School of Management and Impact?
Well, thank you very much, Adrien, for the question, for the invitation. Hello, everyone. So, following up your question, I thought the Master in Communication, Media, and Creative Industries perfectly aligned and fit with my personal objectives because this is a program where we can learn everything because it's a sector-specific master's program that offers a comprehensive education for future professionals in content creation, communication, and the entertainment industry. Another thing that particularly struck me at Sciences Po is the pedagogy of Sciences Po and the School of Management and Impact with its multidisciplinary approach. I mean, you can learn on the one hand social sciences classes in political science, economics, and on the other hand, other more, I'd say, School of Management and Impact style classes like corporate strategy, finance, but also a bunch of elective classes in the communication sector, branding, advertising, and of course, video games and film departments as well. As far as I know, there is no other department or school in France that offers such a diverse and exciting curriculum. Sorry, yeah.
No, please go on, Mehdi, please.
Yeah, and if I have to say a word also on the network of the master is also the number of industry professionals who teach in the master, and also the number of companies that are partners with our master, because it's quite reassuring, especially for finding internships and apprenticeships.
Now you mentioned how diverse the master is in terms of classes. Do you have a favorite course?
Well, yes. If I were to pick up a favorite class, it would definitely be the corporate strategy one because it's a business-oriented class with a case study approach based on the Harvard Business School case study method. And it's quite interesting because you learn a lot of what you see in the financial classes, but also what you see in the elective classes. And it's quite important because you're in the shoes of a consultant in this class, and you can reuse these tools and these skills that you learn in the case study methodology, and then you can reuse them when you're into an internship or apprenticeship or your future job. So I'd say it's definitely one of my favorite classes at that point.
Sounds great. Now, you already been through the first year of your master's. You are currently doing a gap year, which is an academic year taken by a student as a break year between year 1 and year 2 of the master's. You have already completed an internship at Studio Canal, a film production company with both creative and managerial tasks you've been doing. Could you tell us about this internship and this more generally this gap year you are doing?
Yeah, because since I was interested in the film industry, so I spent the past 6 months at Studio Canal. So yeah, I got to do some creative tasks like reading scripts and analyzing them, participating in artistic discussions during the editorial committees, and also connecting talents like actors and writers to specific projects. And although, yeah, as you said, it's quite creative, but it's also required solid knowledge of the film market, but also how you make a film profitable and a bit of storytelling strategies as well when you're analyzing a script. And I gained this knowledge, of course, during my previous studies, but I further developed them at Sciences Po. And I would also say that the law classes that I've learned, especially in terms of intellectual property in my master, also helped me with the aspects related to intellectual property and contract reading. So yeah, I mean, I had a good time at Studio Cana, especially with this bit, part of the internship of getting to visit film sets because I worked on a film set for 2 weeks and also 10 movie premieres. So personally, I've chosen Studio Cana, but a lot of my classmates went to diverse companies like L'Oréal, BETC, Publicis, Your. So I mean, it's just a representation of everything you can do in this master.
Now, you mentioned classes and internships. Could we have a word on student life? I understand you are an active member of several student organizations, ASOCOM, as well as a founder of the EMI Society. What are these student organizations about?
Yes. So last year, I was the president of ASOCOM, which is the Student Association for the Communication, Media, and Creative Industries. Our main goal was to encourage networking and interaction between students from both the French track and the English track by organizing afterwards, what we used to call BARCOM in our association. And we also aim at facilitating professional integration through roundtables, discussions with alumni, and also companies visits. And I'm really glad that you mentioned also another association, which is the EMI Society. That is a project that I'm really excited to tell you about because we worked hard last year with my fellow presidents to establish this student association of the School of Management and Impact that will be fully operational when we're in campus in fall 2024. Because this association aims to unify the entire EMI community students and promote professional integration, of course, but also creating synergies between every master's through professional events like conferences, breakfast sessions with alumni, business cups as well, and also the most important thing is an annual gala. Because we believe that you will be working all together within the company, you'll be working with HR people, marketing, finance. So it's really important to us that you start working and collaborating hand in hand on very ambitious projects. So that's the mission of the EMI new association.
Thank you very much, Mehdi. It sounds like student life is pretty intense at the School of Management and Impact. Now let's get back to Natasha. Maybe let's have a word on the campus. Now, all master's students at Sciences Po study on our Paris campus. A new campus was inaugurated in 2022. Could you tell us a little bit about that new campus?
Yes, that's the jewel of Sciences Po, of course. Just to bounce back on what Mehdi was saying, we are very proud of the work of students about this EMI Society project because it concretizes the link between our partners, the corporations that help us, the universities and the students themselves through the alumni and through the ones that will become alumni. But coming back on the campus, this is a new place for Sciences Po. There are historical places that you will discover, but also this brand new place, which is a historical building, probably the only campus which is right at the center of Paris, the 6th district, the Saint-Germain-des-Prés, just behind Café de Flore. So within the living heart of the city, and the facilities are historical but very functional, very modern. There's a huge library, the historical library, probably one of the biggest in Europe in terms of social sciences, a nice cafeteria, 150 students. So a very pleasant place to live in, to share with students and to organize events. So this is really an attraction point, and luckily, 2 years ago we inaugurated it and now it's fully operational.
So a very pleasant place to both live in and study at. Thank you very much, Natasha. Let's have a word on innovation in teaching methods. I understand you have just created the Impact Studio, which is a place where students design innovative solutions integrating the impact criteria. Could you tell us about the Impact Studio?
Indeed, you probably noticed that impact is in the name of the school. So having an impact is really a value that we have. We want students to be performing well in the excellence, but also with the idea of having an impact. And having an impact is learning hard and passing exams, but also having the ability to, have projects and realize those projects in partnerships with the firms that help us and the external, stakeholders, them being NGOs, them being public sector entities. It could be many diverse, partners. And the studio is really a place where you can have, credits, you can work towards your diploma, but develop those projects. Some of those projects, we have a prize to select the best ones. They get, presented at the Institut de France. So we get you very motivated. So there are projects this year, about blockchain, about how to build a carbon price for a specialized entity. You can be very creative in doing so.
Natasha, you mentioned 5 master's programs offered fully in English at the School of Management and Impact. What are the other international dimensions of the school?
Right, so English is 1, our students is 2, our professors is 3, because we have a lot of international professors, and of course we have dual degrees with partner universities. So if you want to have a degree with Bocconi, Sciences Po, you can do it at the school. Same thing, in the US, in Brazil, Fudan in China. So we don't have 30, but you will find yourself, Stockholm, a place to have this joint opportunity if you wish so.
So dual degrees with international partners amongst the very best in the world. Now let's have a word with Sarah, who is with us remotely. Thank you, Sarah, for being with us. You are a Master in Marketing, New Luxury and Art de Vivre graduate. You currently work as Product Brand Contact Project Manager at Cartier International at the headquarters in Paris. You are originally from South Korea. Thank you again for being with us. Can you tell us about the masters you've been following, the Masters in Marketing, New Luxury and Art de Vivre, the different courses you attended, and maybe a favorite one?
Yes, thank you, Adrien, for having me. So the master's specializes in the luxury industry in the context of marketing. I especially appreciated the fact that the program had a sociological, cultural, as well as a sustainable aspect. Especially studying the sociological aspect of luxury for me is quite Sciences Po in a sense, and it is what differentiates the program from other business schools in a way that it approaches luxury. Personally, I had many interesting courses, but I especially enjoyed luxury and the law because in the beginning they seem like 2 disciplines that don't seem to be very linked, but actually you learn that they impact each other very much.
Mm-hmm. You, just like your schoolmate Mehdi, have completed a gap year. You did 2 internships, one at Cartier and the other one at Hermès, both in Paris. Could you tell us how you did secure those internships and what you did during those internships?
Yes. So I started my gap year at Cartier in international brand content coordination. I actually knew that I wanted to apply for this internship from when I visited the Richemont office during the first semester of my master's. So it's thanks to one of the meetings organized by the master that I knew about this internship. It was about being the key contact for worldwide markets of Cartier, about content and communication strategy, and also to localize content for key strategic periods for the Maison, such as Lunar New Year and Ramadan. For the second part of my gap year, it was at Hermès in strategic activations in the media department. It was more about budget analysis and strategic allocating resources to different moments that were important for the Maison. So overall, I was very glad that I did this gap year and 2 very different internships because it allowed me to explore the variety of missions, the work environments, and to prepare myself better for the first job experience.
And then right after your Hermès internship experience, you went back to Cartier, where you currently work. Could you tell us about the position you hold today?
Yes, I'm part of the Strategic and Creative Communications department here at Cartier in Paris. The department overall is in charge of defining our creative strategy and in developing all the campaign assets to communicate about the Maison. So all of the content that you see on our social media, outdoor, cinema, magazines, etc. And as a brand content project manager, I am responsible for the creation of these assets. So on a daily basis, I manage the production of these assets from A to Z, starting from the strategic brief to daily follow-ups with our creative agency, organizing the shoot, post-production, and all the internal validations as well. And after each campaign, we do a performance analysis to see how we can improve for the upcoming campaigns.
Now, apart from the internships you've been following, could you tell us how the school helped you? What contributions did the school make to your career?
I especially appreciated the amount of company visits and the HR meetings that were organized by the master because it was really a perfect way to explore job opportunities and also just to expose myself to different HR contacts to learn about the different companies because each company has their own way of doing things, their way of dealing with their product launches, product collections, different work environments. So as a student, it was really enlightening in a sense to have the school organize all these meetings. And I also think that the classes were very relevant in that we had courses that we could choose based on the part of the industry that we are interested in because the luxury industry is very diverse within it. And I ended up at Cartier doing jewelry and watches initially because that was the part of the industry that interested in me the most.
So you did study in Paris and now currently work in Paris as well. A word about life in Paris as a student and a graduate.
I have to say that Paris is one of the best cities for me as a student interested in working in luxury because first, the city is an open museum. You're exposed to art, architecture, and fashion all the time. And realistically, many of the key players are French in the luxury industry and are based in Paris. So you are in the abundance of job opportunities. And as a graduate, I personally appreciate Paris because Paris at the same time is a very big city, so you get to meet people from different backgrounds, but at the same time, Paris is small enough. So once you've found your community, it can be very warm and comforting.
Now, final question, Sarah. Do you have an advice for students who would like to join the Masters in Marketing New Luxury and Art de Vivre next year?
Yes. First thing, the master exposes you to the world of the luxury industry and so many different opportunities. So I would say be ready. Be ready to be proactive to seize those opportunities and to prepare yourself better as much as possible to follow what's happening in the industry by reading, for example, Business of Fashion and following all of the brand's latest campaigns on their different touch points.
Be ready. That's your final word. Thank you very much, Sarah, for being with us. Now, let's get back to studio with Natasha Valla. Both Mehdi and Sarah mentioned internships, job positions. How does the School of Management and Impact prepare for professional life?
Well, I think their stories tell you how we do it. And this is our duty to bring our students to the best jobs, meaning the jobs that correspond to what their motivation is. This does not come, deus ex machina. It comes with a lot of effort and thinking. It means we select our teachers and professors very carefully to cover all the areas that we think there will be jobs at the end. So we have had examples in luxury. There's in finance, for example, in Paris, there's a lot of, it has thickened in the past few years the amount of activity in terms of, banking, M&A, but also private equity, venture capital. So all those, we have to watch this and to make sure we have those experts in front of our students so that there's this personal match between a company, a firm, people, and our students. And then you have an internship, then you have longer opportunities, and a lot of it works like this. So it's sur mesure, it's haute couture, and as I said, we never leave anyone behind, provided that you have a clear view of what you want to do. You may change over time, but this motivation, we build it together.
Now we understand preparation for working life begins right at the start of a student's journey. Thank you very much. Now, in which sectors and for what positions are graduates recruited?
Right. In terms of, our students are quite successful because most of them, 97% of the students get a job offer when they graduate, and there's no latency in between. In terms of sectors, we have our master in finance and our master in communications. They are big, so we get a lot of people in the audit strategy area, in banking industry, a bit in insurance. So quite a lot in finance, but also in new media, video games. There has been a hype, and the pipeline is quite strong. We also have in human resources, a fair number of people. Some of our students do entrepreneurships, so they have their own projects, which were seeded in the studio or in our center. We have a center for entrepreneurship at Sciences Po, with which we work closely together. So we have also those students. A couple of them go to NGOs, international organizations, so quite broad, but this is more or less the mix.
Yeah, the diversity of positions and sectors is the very reflection of how diverse programs are at the School of Management and Impact. Now let's have a word with our final guest, Chitraksh. Thank you for being with us. You are a Master in International Business and Sustainability graduate. You currently work as a strategy consultant at consulting firm Histra. You are originally from India. Thank you again for being with us. Could you tell us what makes the Master in International Business and Sustainability stand out as something special for you? I'm not sure we can hear you, Chitraksh, sorry. I think there might be a slight problem with your microphone. Could you... No, it seems like your microphone is not working, Chitraksh. Yes. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Sorry about that. I was saying that thank you for having me on. And yes, of course, the Masters, I think, is very unique because of its position, which is very well adapted to the rise of sustainability and impact-oriented jobs that now we see in the European corporate ecosystem. The flexible structure of the Masters allows you to have a personalized courses, which, as Natasha said, is taught by professionals from the industry. So there is a real focus on the applicability in the real world. And me personally, for example, I had a course on sustainable finance, which was taught by a professor who was very passionate, and it actually led me to decide as to where I wanted to be placed and where I wanted to make my place in the world.
So that made you want to work as a consultant at Histra. That's the current position you're holding. You work with inclusive businesses. Could you tell us about the position you hold today?
Yeah, so I'm a strategy consultant at Histra, and we work with inclusive businesses, and the idea is to marry social and environmental impact with profitable business models. The idea is that we ensure the sustainability of the impact we create by having enterprises in low and middle income countries that create profit and assure their own survival. So the firm has been created by ex-McKinsey partners who saw that in the lower and middle income companies, there were a lot of innovative ideas which could help people, and notably the people from the lower income brackets. But what was lacking was really the connection towards the people who could help scale them up, the people who had the financial ability to do so. So we're creating a kind of a bridge between these two different worlds. And we work with social entrepreneurs, we work with corporates to build inclusive business programs, on coalitions with different donor organizations, impact funds, and of course, we support our insights, publish our insights through research that we do on various topics.
And as an example, could you give us a significant project you have been involved in?
Yeah, I think one of my most favorite projects that I've done in the last 2.5 years that I've been here is a study that we call Access to Health. So basically, the idea was to go see all the different inclusive businesses in the health sector that exist a bit everywhere in the world. So we saw in Asia, in Africa, Latin America, etc., and bring in insights from these businesses to be able to see what we can replicate, the different learnings we can take to build models from scratch, and then have our sponsors actually act on that and create initiatives which can bring impact in the health sector. Apart from that, I have worked on a range of topics, so doing technical assistance for development financial institutions, working with corporates on their strategy to shift from plastic packaging to paper packaging, and a range of topics like these, which have notably allowed me to travel a bit everywhere in the world. I was in Bangladesh last year. I was also in East Africa, in Uganda. I traveled to Ghana. also in Europe itself, because that's where also some of our clients are. So London, Switzerland, etc. And I think that is also one of the very important things that I value in my work.
A truly international position indeed. Now, Natasha mentioned how preparation for professional life is important at the School of Management and Impact. What were the stages of building your own professional project during your studies at Sciences Po?
You just mentioned, so I came from India right after my bachelor's degree, and I didn't really have professional experience on the European continent. So the gap year that I had between the first year of my master's and my second year really allowed me to integrate myself into the corporate environment. I did my first internship in internal audit in a big oil and gas company here in Paris. The second internship I did in banking, working for compliance. And then finally, after these two internships, along with the different subjects that I chose and what they taught me, I decided to go into consulting for my last internship just before I graduated.
And final question, Chitraksh. Looking back at your experience as a student at Sciences Po, do you have a best memory as a student at the School of Management and Impact?
I think I'll give two answers to that question. The first one is more from a personal point of view. Honestly, my classmates were very key to facilitating my integration both into France and also into the school. So the parties we had, at somebody's house or even official events that Sciences Po did were very crucial and very fond memories for me. And then on a more educational professional side, I remember being invited by one of my professors, who was the chief economic officer at Mars, the big FMCG company, to speak about the economics of mutuality, the idea that management and investment innovation can deliver greater value to the people and to the planet. And this conference was attended by industry leaders, by academia, and I got an opportunity to speak there, which was quite a proud moment for myself.
Great, it sounds great. Thank you so much, Chitraksh. Thank you very much. Now is the time for our Q&A session. Dear viewers, thank you very much for all your questions. And we're going to go with the first question you guys have been asking in the chat module of this YouTube live. Again, thank you again. The first question from Enda would be asked for Sarah. Let me read it for you. Hello, quick question. The decision of taking a gap year can be taken at the end of the first year, or how does it work? When did you guys, and specifically you, Sarah, made the decision of taking that gap year? Was it during year one?
Yes, it was during year one. I don't remember the timing specifically, but you do have some time to speak to your professors, your academic advisor, obviously, whether you want to make the choice to do the gap year or not. But it was during the very second semester of the first year master, yes.
Now, thank you, Sarah. We understand the gap year brings a lot to professional projects. Natasha, do you have an idea of the proportion of students taking a gap year?
It varies from year to year, but they like to take gap years. I mean, they like internships and they like to take time. And this gap year is extremely helpful because, and we notice that this is a really strong signal that we get a change in the attitude of students when they come back from their gap year. And sometimes they fine-tune their projects, as we were saying before. So they will come back with a more specific idea, and the final year will then be completely used in choosing electives towards their project. They come even sometimes almost with a job offer. So this is a majority in any case. Yeah.
So it varies from one year to the other. Thank you. Second question is for Chitraksh. What was the percentage of international students in your class? Were there many nationalities represented in your student cohort, Chitraksh?
Definitely, a very international. So I did an English track. My master's is an English track, and we had a huge variety of people. In fact, I think I don't remember the number, but I would say somewhere around 70% or more were international students. A lot from India, a lot from China, and of course a lot from Latin America as well. And even within Europe, there was a big diversity of the different countries that the students came from. So definitely a very international masters, without a doubt.
Great, thank you so much, Shitrax. And I believe the proportion of international students is very large in all masters offered in English. Is that right, Natasha?
Yeah, obviously there's a concentration in those masters. As I was saying before, it's about 40, a bit less than 40% of our students. It's quite, sizable, and most of them choose the English track. Yeah.
About 40% of international students at the School of Management and Impact. Now, a question for Mehdi from Amina. Amina, thank you for asking. How are the networking events? Mehdi, you mentioned how you did a bunch of them, of those networking events. Were they helpful in your job search, in your internship search?
Well, yes, definitely, because you're meeting students, well, alumni who were part of this same master program, so they experienced the master, their classes, and also know how important Sciences Po is in terms of education. So yeah, I'd say there's a lot of my students who managed to find their internships being in relation with alumni. So yeah, definitely. And because in our master's program, the thing is that we keep our alumni and we keep to make them come back in Sciences Po. And I think it's really important for us to keep this relationship, especially with companies, but also with alumni. And regarding companies, also a lot of students managed to find their internships as well in companies we visited, especially because I know that someone mentioned also the companies visits that are organizing also by the masters as well. So yeah, there are a lot of networking opportunities that are made possible for you to find your internship or apprenticeship.
So the answer is yes. Obviously, networking events are helpful in a job search. Thank you, Mehdi. A question about apprenticeship is something we haven't talked about yet. A question from Kate to Natasha. Is it possible to complete the Master in Marketing, New Luxury and Art de Vivre in apprenticeship? And which are the masters offered in apprenticeship at the School of Management and Impact?
That's a very good question. The government even sponsors apprenticeships, so we have a strong focus. We're not able to offer that master yet. We're working on it. So I'll be a little bit early on this, but there are 4 other masters where you can do apprenticeship. The master in Marketing and Society, which is the sort of twin master, but without the focus on New Luxury and Art de Vivre. Although you can share courses, you can have access to some of the courses. You can do apprenticeship in Finance and Strategy, also in Communication and Creative Industries, New Media and Creative Industries, and in what did I forget? Human Resources. Did I mention it? Human Resources
no, you haven't.
And Sustainable Governance. This is also, apprenticeship is at the center of this master.
So 4 masters offered in apprenticeship, and for those of you who don't know what apprenticeship is, it's a curriculum with part-time at the university and part-time within a company. Thank you very much. Our information session is now coming to an end. Thank you to all viewers so much for attending. We hope that we were able to answer all the questions you had on the Sciences Po School of Management and Impact. Thank you very much, Natasha, for being with us.
Thank you for listening in, and please reach out to us if you have other questions.
And thank you very much, Sarah, Mehdi, and Shitrax for being with us as well.
Thank you.
We hope to see you all again soon at Sciences Po. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.